Hey guys, so today's video I'm going to be talking about times I've either injured myself or just been generally clumsy. The first one I'm going to talk about is when I was running around at school and I had these shoes that were like heavy duty grip on the bottom of my shoes. I was chasing I was being chased, that was it. We was playing like statue tag, I think, which is where if you get tagged, you're not then it, but you have to stand still till someone from your team touches you. So anyway, girl managed to catch up to me and she taps me on the shoulder and I stop instantly, or at least my feet stopped dead, but the rest of me kept going. So I effectively just stopped and then went bush and flat on my face. And well, mainly onto my knees, which is what I actually hurt. One of the teachers saw me and I jumped up because I didn't want to stop playing, and so I carried on. So I didn't tell anyone effectively that I'd hurt myself until it was getting later on in the day and my knees had started to scab, and every time I moved my legs they were really hurting. So I said to the teacher that I needed to go to the nurse. So I go to the nurse, and what actually happened is I was wearing very thick tights, and what was causing me pain was my tights, because of the blood, had stuck to my knees. And she took my my tights down and she just straight ripped them off my knees, exposing all the scabs again. So I was bleeding. I screamed. My mum was furious. She went to the school and complained that she shouldn't have done that, because all she did was make it worse. I have a scar on my right knee where I fell over. So I'm 26 now and I was 5, so 21 years later I still have a scar. That's how much I'd hurt myself. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is more of I reacted to something and ended up hurting myself in the process. I'm deathly afraid of spiders. I don't think I have arachnophobia, because like I can, if there's one by the front door, I can still get past it, but they freak me out. Anyway, I was in my Wendy house I had when I was a little kid. It was like a plastic Wendy house, and I was sat on the little table, I remember, and I was playing with the teacups or whatever, and there was a spider on the wall right next to my face. So I did what any kid would do and proceeded to vacate the area. But I was a bit too quick, and at this point I was slightly too tall for the Wendy house, so instead of ducking on the way out, which I had to do, I just ran out the door and smacked my forehead on the top of the door frame and proceeded to cry till my mum came and got me. Thanks, Mr. Spider, you scared me into smacking my head. The next one I'm going to talk about, this isn't technically my fault. It was a bit of a dumb thing that caused it. Amusingly enough, we were going to the hospital, not for anything to do with me. I think my grandma was having her eyes looked at. We went there, and when we stopped to get out the car, my granddad and grandma had a VW Golf. To get out from the back to the front, you had to the seat went forwards and you climbed out the side because it only had 2 doors at the front. My granddad got out the car first. Now I should have waited for my grandma to get out the car and then just got out the left. That would have been fine, but I was being an impatient little shit, and I don't know what possessed me to do this. Instead, I quickly sidled over to the right hand side, pushed my granddad's seat forwards, and I put my hand on the door frame to lift myself out. My granddad didn't see me because he didn't expect me to just shimmy over that quickly, and he shut the door. And when you shut a car door, you don't do it gently, you do it quite forcefully. The car door skimmed my index finger and smacked me right between my thumb and my finger. I didn't scream or anything, it was more like a that was basically what I did. And my granddad actually noticed straight away. He was like, "Oh, are you okay?" Blah blah blah, and he looked at me and there wasn't anything there, right? But I was in absolute agony. But I knew that my grandma had to make this appointment. She'd been waiting for ages, so I didn't want to cause her to miss that appointment or any kind of fuss, so I didn't say a thing. I was like, oh, I'm fine. I wasn't fine. It hurt real bad. We go through the hospital, Grandma has her appointment, I'm hiding my hand because, oh my god, it hurts so badly. After we went to the appointment, my granddad said, as a little treat for me being so good, because I'd been like quite quiet and just let them get on with it and I hadn't, done anything, I just sat quietly and waited. He said we'd go to the cinema and my granddad bought me some popcorn. He went to hand it to me and I obviously reached out both hands and he saw my hand and he was like, what did you do? And then like you saw it tick over and he went, was that when I shut the door on you? And I was like, no. Granddad was like, it was, wasn't it? Like, yeah. He was like, why didn't you say anything? And I started crying at this point because I finally got to like let the pain out. I was like, oh, but Grandma, and the appointment, and I was just high-pitched squeaking basically. My granddad was like, all right, calm down. We'll come back after we've sorted your hand out, and then we'll go to the cinema. And I was like, no. We have to go. I don't even remember what the film was, but I was like, I want to see this film. I do remember what film it was. It was The Phantom Menace. Oh, that's what it was. It was the first Star Wars film I'd ever seen. I was so excited to see it that I wouldn't let anything get in my way. My granddad was like, okay, fine. So anyway, the film goes on, and my hand, the whole time through that film, is throbbing real painfully. My granddad ended up getting me like a cup with ice in it just to hold through the cinema, which was quite smart of him. And we came out and my granddad had a good look at my hand in the car, and I was okay, like I hadn't broken anything, it was just a really bad bruise. And I was tired at this point. I'd had a long morning, sat in a hospital waiting, I'd just watched a long film, I just wanted to go home. So I was like, oh, can we just go home please, I don't want to go anywhere else. So we went home and he looked at it, cleaned it, made sure I wasn't cut or anything, and basically just bandaged me up. I'll show you a video now. Basically my thumb has never been the same since. I don't know what happened, but my left thumb perfectly fine, but my right thumb does this. Don't know why, it's just ever since that day, it's never like, it doesn't go properly. It's not been a problem, it's more like a cool party trick I get to show people. But yeah, ever since then, that's how it's been. So this last one is probably one of the stupidest things I think I've ever done, because I just really didn't think it through. So I was in the back garden with my friend, my next door neighbour friend, and we were kicking a football back and forth towards us. Basically what we were doing is we'd kick a football, get further away, kick the football, get further away. And the further away we went, we actually had to kick it a lot harder. Now she was a lot taller than me, and I think she was about a year older, so she had a lot more power behind her kicks. And I was, when you see those little birds that puff up their chests because they're like, I'm little and I'm going to be angry. That's basically what I looked like. So I decided, I can't kick it hard enough. She's kicking it so much harder than me. I can't beat her. I thought, well, if I can kick it this hard with one foot, I wonder how hard I can kick it with 2 feet. You can probably see where this is going. When the ball got to me, I did this kind of jumping motion and I put my feet together and kicked them forwards. Now, for anyone that understands physics, for every action there is an equal and opposite. Oh god, I just dropped my microphone. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. RIP earphone users. Anyway, what I was saying, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So my feet went forwards, which meant the top of my torso and my head went backwards to balance out. Would have been fine, I would have just fell on the grass and had a laugh about it. But no, I hadn't noticed, but I backed up enough to where I was effectively near like a mini rock garden thing my grandma had made, and there was this lovely big piece of slate rock, and I just smacked the back of my head on it. I was out, that was it, out cold. And the next thing I remember is my granddad stood above me, panicking, and my friends crying because I probably just looked like I'd killed myself. Rushed me to A&E, They checked me out. I had a concussion, obviously, which was quite scary actually. It's like... That's my phone, I'm sorry. God, this is a mess. Anyway, so it almost feels like you're really tired. Like, have you ever been so tired that your eyes start to hurt and you just start to droop? That's what it feels like. But that's the concussion, and obviously the thing is you do not fall asleep when you are concussed, because you might not bloody wake up again. So anyway, my granddad's like poking me and the doctor's like, come on, wake up, stay awake, and I'm like, getting more and more frustrated because I'm like, I just want to sleep. When they checked me out and they said I was fine, I was just concussed, go home, drink lots of fluids, here's some painkillers for the pain. But I never lived that down. My friend told everyone at school, and I laughed because it is funny, but at the time when I initially did it, it was not funny. And it is probably one of the stupidest times I have hurt myself. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you very much for listening to my stories about me injuring myself. There are plenty more where that came from. Thanks very much for watching the drawing of Abigail as well. I think I mentioned in my previous video that the footage got corrupted. Well, I managed to find a portion of it that was not corrupted. Wahaha. I lost all the bit of me actually drawing her and talking about me drawing it, but whatever. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and have a nice day. Bye!